Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World of Juice Hoops channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Toronto Raptors Flashback Rebuild here on NBA 2K23. In the last episode, we had another good season. We're starting to build something here, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting to build something. We drafted a snake. Kevin Durant is here. They want him to be off the bench. I don't necessarily hate that, mainly because DeMar DeRozan is a little bit of a higher overall, but not for long. Maybe in a season or two, Durant will be past DeRozan. But we also took Greg Oden. So now we've got our center, and hopefully we can turn Greg Oden's career from one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history in real life because of knee injuries and amongst other things, to maybe one of the greatest of all time. I don't know. We'll find out as this series continues, but Greg Oden will be starting at center for us in this year. And at the end of last episode, we spun the wheel and got the Penny Hardaway draft class. So now, this draft class doesn't really need to have our fingerprints on it. Mainly because we don't have a lot of capital to work with. We traded a lot of it to get Kevin Durant and Greg Oden. But we've got 2028 first round pick, which is, I'm assuming, what this draft class will be. We don't have a draft pick next year, but that's not saying that we can't get one, especially if we trade somebody on this team for a first round pick. That's possible. We have a lot of guys that could warrant a first round pick. Even DeMar DeRozan could be worth a first round pick if we decided to move on from him. Dan the Man, at 27 years old, could certainly be moved to get a first round pick, or at least attempt to get a first round pick. But I guess we'll find out as we simulate this season. Hope you guys going to enjoy. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get simulating this season and find out just how good Kevin Durant's rookie season can be. The season is wraps, and OJ Griffin continues to establish his legacy as the greatest player in the early years of this franchise and of this flashback rebuild series, as he averaged 33, 9, and 7 to win another MVP. This man just continues to go off, and I can't wait to see just how good he can be. He's got 3 MVPs. He's got an NBA championship. He's been an All-NBA player. He's been a Defensive Player of the Year. He's been an All-Star. He can do literally everything. He is the all-around best player, and he could wind up being the greatest of all time when this whole flashback rebuild series is done for this year. And I wouldn't be mad at it. Rookie of the Year is Joakim Noah, averaging 10 and 10 on the Kings. Derek Anderson wins the Sixth Man of the Year for the Miami Heat. OJ Griffin takes home the Defensive Player of the Year. We were just talking about that. Adonal Foyle wins the Most Improved Player. Congratulations to him. Darvin Ham is your Coach of the Year because the Lakers are just that good. And Justin Taylor wins the Executive of the Year. So those are your awards. All-NBA First Team, OJ Griffin, Dyson Chambers, Tim Duncan, Luka Pavic, and Orlando Woodridge. Second team is Tracy McGrady, Diego Navarro, Andrew Taylor, Blake Griffin, Ronnie Seekely. Third team is Brandon Jennings, Domingo Garcia, Danny Manning, Jared Waller, and you. I don't know how to pronounce his name. OJ Griffin, Thomas, Mal Carter, Tim Duncan, Irvin Erickson on the defensive first team. Second team, McGrady, Artest, Danny Manning, Pratt, and Woolridge. And then all rookie first team is Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Mike Conley, Kevin Durant, and Rodney Stuckey. Second team is Joseph Vincent, Thad Young, Lewis Harrington, James Posey, and Corey Brewer. I wonder if Kevin Durant wins the Rookie of the Year if he starts this year instead of being on the bench behind DeMar DeRozan. I don't know. I guess we will never really find out. But we are the 2 seed playing the Boston Celtics in the first round of the playoffs. But that is right after we take a look at the season stats. Who led the team? It is obviously Tim Duncan, because Tim Duncan is the best player on this team. He averaged a huge double-double. Then James Harden brought up about 20 points as well. Steph Curry had a really, really good year too. DeMar DeRozan had a really good year. Kevin Durant in his rookie season put up some pretty good numbers. Still an 80 overall. Baron Davis also put up some good numbers on the bench. Greg Oden in his rookie year, about an 80 overall, 7 rebounds, about 4 points per game. He's never going to be a dominant scorer, but getting those rebounds certainly could help us. And it looks like yeah, the glitch is still there where for some reason 2K thinks that Greg Oden was a good three-point shooter or shot any threes for that matter. I don't know why they think that he can shoot threes, but let me get a little bit of a change here. So let's go to his tendencies. I am going to change his... actually, I'm going to bump up his shot tendency slightly just because... let's see. Let's bump up Greg Oden's shot tendency just a little bit because he was known for a scorer in college as at Ohio State. So I won't bump it up too crazy, but about an 80 is fine. And I'm going to lower his three-point shot tendency because, yeah, 85 on shot threes? Nah, Greg Oden didn't shoot threes. So we're gonna drop that down significantly to about maybe a 10 or something like that. And then spot up shot three, that's going to be dropped as well. Down low, and then off-screen shot three is going to be dropped down tremendously as well. And then is there anything else that needs to be shot left? We'll drop down the shot left center. Center can drop down. Basically anything that deals with threes for Greg Oden is going to get dropped because he didn't shoot those. So contested jumper three going to get dropped. All that kind of stuff. Okay, perfect. We can exit. We can confirm those changes. And now, hopefully, Greg Oden won't shoot any threes for the rest of his career. Or at least not enough to where he hurts his stats. So that's awesome. We took a look at the stats. Now we play the Boston Celtics, who I didn't really see who they had on their team. They have Rod Strickland, Mirza, Fasenko, Dante Watson, Tim Thomas, and Robert Kennedy. Okay, very simple team to beat. I think we can do it. We can get this job done. We lose game one. We lose game two. We take game three. Come on, boys. We lose game four. Take game five. Take game six. Game seven of the first round is not necessarily where I wanted to be. We were in control for the first quarter. We're starting to go back and forth here. Come on, boys. We're getting down. Oh, my God. What a crazy third quarter for the Celtics. That might be too much to handle, but we're fighting back. Are we going to do it? No, we're losing. Oh, we actually did come back, but the Toronto Raptors get eliminated in the first round. I don't really know what happened there. We were the 2 seed. I thought we were pretty much ready, but I guess we weren't. Lakers and Hornets. OJ Griffin versus just the kind of hodgepodge of players for the Hornets. They were the 1 seed, though. They got it done in the East. And it's going to be the Lakers in 4. OJ Griffin continues to cement his legacy as the best player in this entire series. Player retirements we don't really care about. Staff retirements don't really matter too much. League meetings make sure everything is rejected. And everything is draft lottery. We don't have anything in the draft lottery, so we will move to this. The Warriors win the lottery. They have the number 1 overall pick. We have the 30th pick in the draft because we had the Lakers first rounder, which is kind of bad, but hey, it is what it is. We could move on from it because I don't think there's anybody in this draft that we absolutely have to have, I don't think. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think there's anybody in this draft that we need. Especially nobody that's lower than like the top 10. I don't think there's anybody outside the top 15, top 10 that we could go for. Maybe we go for like George Murasan, maybe, or Sean Bradley just to get a huge big center to be a backup. I don't know. I don't really think that's that great. But if we go to the roster, we've got Duncan, we've got Harden, we've got our starting 5 pretty much down. We're just waiting for player progression to find out if Kevin Durant's going to take over from DeMar DeRozan or not. And it looks like DeMar's contract, all of these guys' contracts are up, which means we're probably going to have to re-sign them with player options and stuff and team options because their rookie deals are probably up by now. So we got a lot of roster turnover, hopefully, to take care of here. But I don't really think this team needs another rookie. I think we're pretty good with what we have. We could trade Dan and our first-round pick to maybe package together to get a first-round pick for next year. I guess that could be something that we do. No trade offers for either Dan. Oh, I guess it is no trade offers for Dan. Wow, okay. That's very interesting. So we've got some offers for the 30th pick in the draft. It's just second rounders, it looks like. No future first at all? No future first whatsoever. Okay. I can't believe nobody wants Dan. What about if I package him together with like Ricky Hollins? Nothing? Does anybody want Ricky? Nobody even wants Ricky. What about if I packaged him together with Dion Glover? No. Do people want Glover? Nobody wants anybody? Oh, I know why I can't, because they're expired. That's probably why I can't do it. Okay, so we'll go to the draft, see where some of the top guys go, and we'll figure out what to do from there. The Warriors take Penny Hardaway. They get their guy. Gene Payton goes 2. Isaiah Ryder 3. Jamal Mashburn 4. Calbert Chaney to the Jazz at 5. Vin Baker 6. Nick Van Exel 7. Benjamin Newman. Allen Houston. Thomas Marks. Rodney Rogers. Okay, a lot of the big-time guys going. We'll send to our pick. And we either are probably going to trade this. Is there now first-round pick potential for future? We could trade one for 2030 from the Lakers, but I don't want to trade with the Lakers. We'd have to trade a 32nd. No. Okay, so we could trade with the Suns for a 2030 pick that's top 3 protected and a 32. That might be the best option. You know what? Let's do that. We'll trade away this pick. We'll get 2 picks. One is protected, but I don't think the Suns are going to be top 3. At least I hope not. Penny Hardaway ends up being a 78. Mashburn's a 77. Good on them. Rookie signings, you don't have anybody. Player options, accept all the player options for all the big boys. OJ Griffin actually declined his player option. Very interesting. We'll offer the extension to all those guys. Got to make sure they come back. And now we go to free agency. Can we bring in OJ Griffin to get... I mean, that would be amazing. I don't think he's going to come here, but you know what? I'd be foolish not to at least offer something to OJ Griffin. He's not going to come here because he has a ton of offers and we are not even in the top half. So no, he's not going to come here, but might as well throw him an offer just because. But we got to make sure that all of our guys come back. We've got them on restricted contracts. They should all come back. I think we just continue. Steph Curry's prepared to accept an offer from the Pistons. We will match that for sure. I don't want to renounce the rights on James Harden. That is for sure. But I will renounce the rights on these guys, and I could renounce the rights on Dan, but I think that we can get away with trading him. So we will match Steph Curry's offer. OJ Griffin decided to sign with the Nuggets. I'm not too upset about that. I figured that's where he wouldn't sign with us, so it's not a big deal. Harden accepted, or is prepared to accept an offer from the Pacers. So is DeRozan. We will match all 3 of those, which is perfect. We'll announce the rights on those guys, and we will keep moving forward. Match. And now we are into actual free agency, and we should have gotten those guys back. Let me quickly go to the roster. Yes, those guys are back on new contracts. Kind of sucks that they all got paid instead of just coming back on their little team option rookie deal things that wouldn't have been too expensive. But hey, you got to do sometime. You got to pay your guys sometimes. So we probably could do with a backup shooting guard, which we're going to bring back Dan. At least I think we are. Is he on? Yeah, he's on bird rights, but he's not restricted. He's got no offers. So we'll offer Dan a contract. And then we need to probably just bring in like some nice young pieces, I guess. Maybe a Brandon Jennings to play point guard. Now we don't really need anybody that big. What about Ty Lawson? He's too expensive. A little too expensive. But what about... Ooh, RJ Nixon. He shouldn't be that expensive. Actually, he is kind of expensive. Okay. Who are guys that we can get for cheap? Cheap. So these guys are kind of on the mid-level exceptions. We should probably look for somebody who's at least a little bit decent. Marshall Henry, we can bring him in on a minimum contract, and we can go for like a power forward, I guess. See if there's any power forwards that we can bring in who are relatively cheap, like maybe Archie Knight. Perfect. So let's keep moving on. Dan's going to accept, Henry's going to accept, and Archie Knight accepted. Beautiful. Now the team's looking a little bit more depth heavy. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys. I'd probably like to get a 14th guy in there, so maybe we'll bring in another center. Who's another center that can do a little bit of everything? This guy, oh, that's Ricky Hollins again. I was going to say, this guy can shoot the 3. Maybe we just bring back Ricky Hollins again just because he's consistent. He always plays pretty well, but maybe Oscar Jordan is the better guy because he can kind of do a lot. So we'll offer him. We will do that. Oh, I got to bring back Deion Glover. That's right. So do we have bird rights on Deion Glover? What position does he play? We don't have bird rights on him. Is he restricted? There he is. There's Dion. We'll offer him a contract. And he accepts. So Dion's back. Beautiful. That should be everybody back then. And that's pretty much the roster. That is pretty much the roster. Let's go to player progression, see just how good Kevin Durant gets, all that good stuff. So Tim Duncan goes up to a 95, Harden's up to a 93, Curry's up to an 89, DeRozan's up to an 86, Baron Davis is an 85, Durant's an 84, so he's right there behind DeRozan. Steven Jackson's an 81, Odin goes up to an 80, Dan doesn't move at all. I think Dan might have to get moved for a draft pick. I think that might be kind of where we're sitting at here. So we can't trade till the beginning of the next season, and we also have to get ready for the draft, or the wheel spin. So auto generate the rookies, and let's get ready for the wheel spin. Here it is. Beautiful. I have removed the last draft class, so that's not on here. We don't have to worry about getting a duplicate. But if we go and get ready, what are we going to spin? 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. Give us a good draft class, something I can fight for. It's going to be an old one. 1960. Oh, that's going to be tough to find. Okay. 1960 draft class. All right. That is going to be tough. Now, with these older classes, I might have to start merging. Yeah, we didn't find any 1960 draft classes. So we might have to start merging draft classes together. So like 1962, is that a draft class that we can find? Okay, so I need to quickly Google who was in the 1960 draft class to see if there's anybody worth even going for. We could just respin it. 1960 NBA draft. Who was in it? Is it worth even going for? The draft class has... Okay, so it has some pretty decent players in it. It has Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Lenny Wilkins, Tom Sanders. It has some okay people in it. But what I might do is... Since there's no... Oh, actually, I was searching by online ID and not content name. Let's check this one. I don't know why I searched by online ID. Of course, there's not going to be anybody named 1960 on here. Okay, so now that I searched the right thing, let's take a look at this one. Is this going to have Oscar Robertson in it? It has Oscar Robertson. It has Jerry West. It has Ben Carlisle, who's not real. It has all these guys who aren't real. But it has the two main guys. There's Lenny Wilkins. There's Tom Sanders. Okay, so it's got enough of the guys. At this point, you're not going to find the exact draft class, obviously. But it's got the two main guys, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, in here. So perfect. We've got the draft class ready to go for next episode. I will remove the 1960 draft class from the wheel so that we don't get any duplicates. Don't want that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we will end the episode there. But like I was saying before I found the 1960 draft class, with these older draft classes, the super old ones like the 60s and the late 50s and stuff like that, we're probably not going to be able to find one that's super good. So what I might do is just take the best players from that draft class and import them into another class closer to where they got drafted in the same realm, and kind of merge a couple classes together just to make it easier for us, because we're not going to be able to find a draft class that is correct every single time for every draft class. That's just how it is. But before we end the episode, we might need to take a little bit of a look at a trade for Dan the Man. We have that protection backup on the Raptors pick, but those are in 2030. We don't have any picks for 2029, and we can't trade Dan until after January 28th. So next episode, we might be doing a little bit of trading before the end of the season. I don't know. But here's a look at what the team will look like. We could have Kevin Durant play over DeRozan and have DeRozan be like a super six man. That could be pretty fun, but I think we'll give Kevin Durant one more year on the bench, and then he will take over when his overall takes over past DeRozan, because I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. And I'm hoping that Greg Oden has a little bit better time. You know what? I think I'm even going to take a little bit of minutes away from Baron Davis, and maybe even a little bit of minutes away from DeRozan, just to give to Greg Oden to make sure that he can progress as quick as possible and as much as possible. But that is going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.